Here's why many AI projects fail. They get into hype, specifically hype about AI agents. So a recent report by McKinsey really hyped up AI agents, talked about being able to run complex workflows independently, like having an AI agent search the internet for leads, then be able to effectively qualify leads, then be able to automate the process of sending out outreach to leads, and then being able to actually do most of the work or all of the work in closing a deal. If you think that's realistic, well, I have a bridge that I can sell you. I've been doing a lot of AI implementation projects for many organizations. That's very unrealistic. And businesses that are buying into this, that are listening to the hype that firms like McKinsey are putting out, are really failing on the risky, problematic implementation challenges. That sets up, unfortunately, companies for disappointment, disillusionment, not realizing the actual benefits that AI can bring. So this is the issue. Real risks of misinterpretation, exploitation, and system errors are not considered in the McKinsey report nearly sufficiently, or in plenty of other hype around AI agents. Just picking on McKinsey because it's a big firm and it just put out this report recently. Legacy systems, which so many companies rely on, are not built for AI automation. So if you think that, let's say that sales and closing lead to generation process that I described earlier, it needs to integrate with existing CRM systems. It needs to integrate with everything that the seller is doing. And that's not something that the vast majority of systems are well set up for. Moreover, actually qualifying leads, reaching out to leads, researching leads, AI can do that. But qualifying leads is much more difficult. And having the interactive process, you can really tell it's an AI at this stage. It's not good enough. The agents are not good enough to do the interaction with the leads. So that's really highly problematic. There's major security and governance concerns. People can hack your AI agents reasonably easily at this stage. That's not something that you want to think about. So no code promises, McKinsey talks about that. Creating agents with no code, not a good idea at this stage. They're not ready yet. Augmentation is where you want to focus on, not autonomy. Not having the AI agents run amok, but having augmentation for repetitive human work. Targeted applications that avoid external risks and deliver ROI. Practical deployments that can solve today's problems, not tomorrow's dreams. You have these grounded use cases which lead to clear and measurable improvement gains. So a couple of clients I worked with as an example. I worked with a manufacturing firm to automate invoice processing. That got us 43% efficiency gains, 43% less labor hours spent on their invoicing compared to before using this process. AI handled over 80% of invoices, the simplest cases, flag for most of the automation process, not the payment process, which is why it's not more efficiency. It only flagged complex exceptions, so those were the 20% that needed to be handled. And of course, the payment and so on was handled by humans. But the intake process was the AI, and then it input the information into the system by itself and a human reviewed it. So it's 43% efficiency gains. That's great. I worked also with an insurance company that automated much of the claims letters process, not all of it, saving 28% of time per draft. So that's 28% of claim adjuster time. So claim adjusters, they got the initial information into the AI, then the AI generated the draft, they reviewed the draft, and then they approved the draft. Most of the time they didn't really have to do any changes, but sometimes they had to do tweaks to customize it. So that was saving them 28% of the time per draft. That exemplifies how you can really get a lot of benefits from AI, but avoid the hype of automating the whole invoice intake and payment process, or automating the whole process of writing a claims letter, which is the kind of thing that McKinsey would write about in that report. The winning approach, in other words, is incremental, not revolutionary. Effective AI use focuses on solving specific problems with measurable outcomes, avoid hype, and build real foundations. The hype cycle is going to lead many, it's already led many, into disillusionment and failure. I've seen that so many times when I enter companies and they're like, well, we tried this before, it didn't work. I'm like, yeah, you really first of all, you didn't know some of the techniques. Second of all, a lot of the stuff was unfortunately too hyped up, and some of it is just not going to be practical for you, and that's okay. Not worth it at this stage. AI agents will be certainly coming, probably in a couple of years, but they're not here now. Real value comes from automation, well thought out, well governed implementation, where you have intelligent processes combined with effective humans. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Wise Decision Maker Show. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you checked it out and leave a review. It helps others discover the show and helps us improve the show. And if you have any questions, email me at gleb, Gleb, at disasteravoidanceexperts.com.